I'm getting old. We're all getting old. Hey, what's up? It's your boy Dynasty, and I have to be the bearer of bad news. Because one of the GOATs, one of the creators of Mortal Kombat, Dan Toasty Forden, responsible for all those classic, iconic themes, all the soundtrack of the OG Mortal Kombat games, up until even recently still working with the composers to piece together even MK1 soundtrack. Dan Forden Toasty has announced he's leaving NetherRealm Studios. His last day was yesterday, and man, I can't believe it. That means that the only OGs that are still there at NetherRealm are Ed Boon and John Vogel. Obviously, you still have the likes of like Steve Barron, Sean Hemrick just got elevated to another position. Pretty sure Mike Boone still helps from time to time. So there's a lot of people at NetherRealm Studios who have been there since the Midway days. But when it comes to the actual like OGs of OGs, Dan is responsible for all the music that gave this franchise, this IP, the soul over the last 30 years. And damn, dude, it's kind of a shock, to be honest. Now, this was the official post that he shared 8 hours ago. Said, Wednesday was my last day at NetherRealm. We made a lot of fun stuff over the years. I'm really proud of what we accomplished, as well as how much fun we had making that stuff. There are so many smart, talented people there. Look for more great things to emerge over the next several years. I love the little touches that people left around the studio, like this little Toasty homage on the bathroom mirror. I wouldn't have lasted 37 years in the industry if fans weren't out there playing the games we made. Thanks to all of you for supporting what we've done. Live long and Toasty. And of course, attached is in the bathroom. The iconic uppercut cued Toasty. Damn, dude. This one's hitting pretty hard because, for me at least, you go back and listen to, in particular, the first 3 games and the music in those first 3 games. Like, there's no mistaking who is behind all that. Even going into like the 3D era, what I grew up really playing as a 7-8-year-old, Deadly Alliance character select screen. You know what I mean? It's bittersweet. It's kind of fitting, in all honesty, because if you think about it, like, the Legacy Collection's dropping at the end of the month. And again, it's a nice, perfect tie-in to Dan's legacy. Dan's legacy will be preserved forever. And not just Dan's, but everyone who had a piece in creating Mortal Kombat. And after 37 years, I'm pretty sure Dan was working at Williams Arcade before it officially became like Midway and they were working on video games. I think Dan was there working on like pinball machines. So you want to talk about like OG, like Dan's an OG. And again, MK4 soundtrack. Like, he worked on everything that when you hear, you're like, oh yeah, Mortal Kombat. Like, every cue in your brain that registers as, oh yeah, it's the Mortal Kombat song. This guy pieced together. And some people are saying that maybe he didn't leave on good terms, which I don't know how they're grabbing that. Because this statement seems pretty fair. And I think there was a response here. Yeah, Philip Train Carroll says, how come you are leaving? And I gotta sign in to see the comment. Oh no! Here we go. So again, in response to how come you're leaving, Dan simply says, I figured I'd been around long enough. Want to reclaim that time for my own interest. And again, people are like psychoanalyzing the statement he gave plus this response is like, oh, maybe they kicked him out of the studio. If that's the case, I don't think he would have been as, I don't know, formal as he was. finishing off of that iconic line, Toasty. I think this is just simply Dan's done all he can do, and he deserves that time away from the keyboard, the screen. WB, who would not want to break after 37 years of dedicating your life to essentially one product? Like, if anyone deserves a break, it's Dan. So, and I'm also seeing people being like, those are some large shoes to fill. I mean, yeah, that's like if Boone disappears. There's not anybody that can replace Dan Forden and his vision and how he's pieced together the iconic music of Mortal Kombat. Thankfully, over the last couple of years, he's kind of taken, I guess, like an overview role when it comes to like the sound engineering department, where though he still is composing his own music, even recently for Mortal Kombat 1 on the Rain stage. I believe it's like where all the treasure chest stuff is. Pretty sure he is the sole composer credited for that. So Dan was still even producing recently, but for the most part, he was pretty much just doing like a nice overview of everything, like a director, if you will, if I'm not mistaken. So he's been at that role for a while where he's kind of been away from being hands-on himself, taking the whole fucking brunt of the load for all the audio. Shout out to Will. Will's been doing, I think, a fine job with Mortal Kombat 11, Mortal Kombat 1, composing that music. Some of you guys don't like it. I think it's pretty good. But there's no question. Even recently, before I started this video, I went back and I listened to like an hour of like Mortal Kombat 3, Mortal Kombat 2, Dan Forden produced stuff. And yeah, everything Dan did was unmistakably Dan. You know what I mean? And I'm just glad that he's able to leave on his own terms, per se. Again, maybe he got fired. I don't think he did. But I'm glad he's able to walk away. And again, at the perfect time, with the Legacy Collection coming out, everyone gets to kind of take in all these classic Mortal Kombat games, retail one last time. And now it's going to hit different knowing that when I hear all those songs, right? Like, oh yeah, Dan Forden pieced that together and now he's gone. So that leaves us essentially, like I kicked off the video saying, with only 2 of the OGs. And we'll see. We'll see how the music and the direction of the music goes moving forward. We're probably not going to get another Mortal Kombat game for a few years because at this point, I think we're all aware they're more than likely working on Injustice 3. And funny enough, Dan's even wearing an Injustice NetherRealm t-shirt. Was that a final tease from Dan? But I'm just glad to see that he's getting his flowers from the entire community, and that's what he deserves. He really does deserve to go out on his own terms, and I'm glad he can finally, hopefully, breathe a little bit and turn on Mortal Kombat 11's tournament stage, do some uppercuts, and see Toasty is alive and well. Yeah, in case you forgot, Mortal Kombat 11 had a Toasty Easter egg. I think I was the first person on the internet to actually break that and showcase that. I'll have a card somewhere if you want to see that. So, though when you uppercut people in MK1, you don't get the classic Toasty line or any other line that was said other than Toasty from Dan. At least recently, as Mortal Kombat 11 2019, they made sure to include him again. So, we'll see. Maybe this is our rallying cry to get MK13, another Dan Forden Toasty Easter egg on the horizon, maybe. But it is bittersweet. And thankfully, the response to the post has been really good. Everyone is being real and calling him a legend. Here's Carlos Pesina saying, congrats, Dan. Thank you for all you've done. Mortal Kombat's my childhood, and it wouldn't be what it is without you and your work. You're a legend of millions. Thank you for the amazing music. Enjoy your retirement. Dang, was it really his birthday? Yeah, I think it was his birthday like 2 days ago or something too. So, hey, get to retire days after your birthday and weeks before all your amazing music gets showcased and sold again for one last time. I can't think of a better way to go out, honestly. So, if you got the time, maybe go, tell Dan something nice. Go give him his flowers because I think he deserves that. Dan, personally, if you somehow stumble upon this, thank you for giving me the music and sounds of my childhood. For real. Like, I'm trying not to break down saying this, like, I love you, MK3, and this motherfucker in the purple shirt used to kind of haunt my dreams, so Yeah, man, this is crazy. We're all getting old. I turned 30 at the end of the month. Mortal Kombat's older than 30. And, time flies, man. Time flies. But anyways, that's all I got for you guys today. Massive shout out to Dan, Forden, Toasty. I thought this was a really nice tribute from Stephen Frost, the head at Digital Eclipse behind piecing together the Legacy Collection. Thanks to Dan Forden for all his contributions to not only the Mortal Kombat franchise, but also to video game history in general. It's an absolute pleasure to meet him and have him involved in the Legacy Collection. So, yeah, I'm hoping that Dan is showcased in the documentary. Safe to say he will be. Toasty deserves spotlight in the Legacy Collection, but the entire community, man, really does thank you, Dan. So, thanks, dude. Enjoy retirement. We will always be grateful and thankful for everything you gave to us. 37 years is crazy. I can't imagine doing something for 37 years. So enjoy the time off and whatever hobbies you got planned. But yeah, man, Mortal Kombat franchise, we keep losing them. We keep losing these legends. We're all getting old. Give credit to Boone and Co. for still being there, dude. Boone and Vogel. Father Time, be damned. They're channeling their inner LeBrons. So, anyways, guys, that's all I got for y'all today. What do you think of Dan Forden retiring? There's no replacing Dan Forden. There's not. You can. If you got some time, go listen to the UMK3 soundtrack. In particular, go listen to, like, the Subway track. The Subway track always melts my face. Always, dude. The fucking Subway track just hits you. It's probably one of my favorites, I think. So, love you guys. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Shout out to Dan Forden. You're the GOATs. See y'all later. Peace.
Yeah, 87 on it crack, but I'm not superstitious. Count all these